Temperature. Of course, we notice, is it cold, is it warm? But some animals have specialized structures for detecting temperature different from what we have. For example, a variety of snakes have specialized pits in the body that enable them to detect very small changes in temperature. They may be able to some degree, kind of see things from heat rather than from light using this. And this is, of course, very useful for the snake if it's trying to find some nice, cute little furry, warm-blooded thing for dinner. It's warm, and so the snake is able to hunt around for something warm and head for that as food, such as a small mammal or bird. Another type of animal with ability to detect and head for warmth is the mosquito, looking for something to bite. But this can go both ways. Actually, there are some types of squirrels in the desert southwest area that if they see a rattlesnake, they will pump extra blood into their tail. This will make the tail extra warm. So it really shows up to the snake. And what this message is apparently, I see you. You crawl over here, I run away, we both waste our time. Don't bother. So you can actually get signaling back and forth between species using other senses as well as the familiar ones. Electricity. This is not something that we are very sensitive to. Yeah, you would notice if you stick your finger in the electric socket, but we're not very sensitive to electric fields. One reason for this is that air is rather insulating, so we didn't get much electric fields. You can wave your hand in front of the outlet and nothing happens. If, however, you were underwater and you tried waving your hand in front of an outlet connected to electricity when it was in the water, you would notice, especially if it were salt water. So, sensitivity to electric fields is primarily found in aquatic animals, especially various fish. Electric fields are generated by muscle movement. In nerve signaling, use electricity, muscles moving, there's some electric signaling there, and so that affects things. The environment, the Earth's magnetic field, magnetism, electricity interacts, and that does set up some degree of weak electric fields in the environment. Individual animals may produce electric fields. Certain types of fish can do this. And then their electric field, if there's something in it, say another fish, or just a stick, or a rock, the fish can feel that until the things are around it. So, the link here, if you're interested, it's a little video of a lab studying fish that produce electric fields, and what they did was hook up a sensor to the tank where they had one of their fish, and whenever the fish changed its electric field, they set up wires so that lights on a Christmas tree would blink. So, kind of fun video showing the effect of the fish's electric field. They can even use this for communication. Some of these fish, the male and female, will have somewhat different electric fields, and so that tingling feeling may really be somebody of interest there. Some fish even can create electric fields that are strong enough to zap prey or predators and use it for defense and feeding, like the electric eel or electric rays. Also, some animals are able to detect magnetism, and detecting the Earth's magnetic field helps them to navigate for migration. So this is particularly present in animals traveling longer distances, say sea turtles, birds, various mammals have these types of ability. Pain detection. This is very important. If you're hurt, you need to know. So, specialized nerve endings. And there are several different things that can be wrong that need to be detected. You're getting squashed by something or cut. That's not good. Something's too hot or too cold. Or there's some nasty chemical here. Those are all bad things, something you want to respond to. Now, of course, we generally think of pain as being something of a nuisance, but you need to know if something's wrong. There's actually a gene present in a family from Pakistan that tends to block detecting pain, and so not feeling pain, well, it doesn't hurt, but that means when they injure themselves, they may not realize it right off. And also, they tend to do stupid things like pay me $20 to watch me stick nails in myself because it doesn't hurt. And no, that's not good for your health. Similarly, leprosy, the damage to the body is largely a result of the fact that leprosy tends to cause outer parts of the body to not feel pain, and so you don't realize that you just damage your finger and don't do something about it. These types of things. Mechanical receptors detect motion, mechanical energy. So as part of you changes shape from moving, that's going to put different pressures on these nerves and create a signal. Say, stretching, moving. This can tell you information about what's around you. Feeling, is this heavy, is it light, stuff of that sort. One special category here are structures that enable you to detect gravity. Which way's up? That's important to know. It's part of balance. So we have sensing like that in our inner ears. A lot of other types of animals have these sorts of detection. Pretty much most things that move around have some of this ability. Mechanical, not just familiar outside, but we have movement. Our stomach churns our food. Heart beating, you've got internal movement as well that can be detected. Proprioception is detecting relative location of parts of you. Again, the stretching and compression as different parts of you move around. And this tells the brain where all your parts are. For example, you probably can do a decent job of trying to reach behind you and touch your fingers together. You can't see where they are, but you can feel roughly and figure out where they need to go in order to match up there. Statocysts are a specific type of structure for detecting gravity found in a variety of invertebrates. Basically, it's a little space filled with fluid, and then there are sensory cells all around that, and there's one or more little hard bits in there, which of course will sink down with gravity. And so that tells an animal which side of it is up, which side is down. Here's an example. Crayfish have a statocyst near the base of each antenna. This little round cavity with a hard structure known as a statolith inside, and all these sensory hairs. So gravity pulls it down, weighs on those hairs, the crayfish knows which way is up. Fishes and a few amphibians have a distinctive structure along the side for sensing pressure in the water, known as the lateral line. and it's made up of a series of individual little sensors that detect water pressure and movement. And this typically is associated with a groove or maybe little pores that allow water to come in and move along, and the fish can feel this. This is helpful for the fish to detect water currents around it. This may be an ocean current. For example, salmon for spawning need to swim upstream. Okay, which way is upstream? How's the water moving? You can feel that and know which way to go. Movement of other animals nearby. That will trigger motion in the water and tell the fish. And so maybe, there's some movement over that way. It's kind of thrashing around strangely like some fish that's been injured. Hey, if it's already hurt, it may be easy to catch. You might go over there and try to eat it. Or that movement felt like something big heading this way. It might eat me. I better swim away. Variety of types of information there. No surprise, the development of this depends quite a lot on what type of environment the fish lives in. So, for example, a fish living in fast-flowing water, well, it's got current all around it all the time, doesn't need huge amounts of noise, and so the lateral line system is going to be probably somewhat less sensitive in that one. On the other hand, a fish living in very deep ocean, currents are typically relatively slight, and it may be kilometers in any one direction to get to any solid material. And so those often have very, very sensitive lateral lines detecting any sort of twitch out in the water around them that might be a potential prey or predator. We and other mammals have inner ear bones involved in the balance. We have the three loops of the semicircular canals. Basically, one's going this way, got one going this way, one this way, and so between the three of them, they measure movement in different directions, and so help say, you're tilting over, better do something, you're going to fall over. That's from the balance sensing in here. It works kind of similar to those statuses we just saw in invertebrates. Of course, this diagram also has the structures involved in detecting sound and the movement generated by sounds hitting our eardrum, transmitted through the little tiny inner ear bones, and again, creating shaking inside the inner ear. Taste. Of course, we're familiar with taste with our tongues, but other animals have different things. Chemical reception. This can be smell or taste, and it's detecting whether it's food chemicals or dangerous chemicals or ones that are important information, such as chemicals produced by other animals as signaling. Up in the air, for smell, we're detecting molecules in the air in gas. Taste is stuff that is dissolved, whether it's in saliva for those of us up in the air or in water around for aquatic things. But many animals may have taste and smell abilities elsewhere on the body as well. So insects will have chemical receptors, for example, in the antennae, detecting things, and various other parts of the body. Many insects actually can taste things with their feet. Now, you probably aren't real interested in constantly finding out what the inside of your socks tastes like. But then again, we don't usually stand on our food. Insects, however, are often small relative to their food and often land right on it. Say some sort of plant, or in the case of a fly, maybe some garbage or whatever. And so the chemical sensing their foot tells them, hey, you just landed on something tasty, or don't taste this stuff, don't stick it in your mouth. And so provides a clue to the insect that it is or is not on a surface that it's interested in trying to eat. For example, a fly, when its feet detect that it's standing on something sweet, it will start to stick out its mouth parts and slurp that up. Now, housefly, normally there's a little nerve going from the head back into the body that brings the signal from the stomach saying, okay, now I'm full, stop slurping. It's possible to make a tiny little hook, say by taking a straight pin and throwing at a surface to get a little bend to the tip. And then if you take that and carefully reach behind the head of the housefly and feel carefully, you can feel a little tug and snap that nerve. Now, the brain does not get any signals from the stomach saying I'm full. So if you then stick that fly on a puddle of sugar water, it will sit there and slurp and slurp and slurp until it bursts because the nerve's not there, giving that internal signal that it ought to be getting. Mammals like ourselves, taste buds are concentrated in bumps on the tongue. Each bump has several cells able to detect chemicals and respond to them. 5 major types of taste have been identified. You often hear about sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Not as much about umami, which is detecting more savory taste. Monosodium glutamate is a major trigger there. It's often used in Asian cooking or in certain fast food, special chicken sandwiches, like right over there. Now, some regions of the tongue concentrate more on one of these or another, but you get some tasting of all of those throughout the tongue. It's not all in one place or another. Also, there are more things than this that the tongue is sensitive to. In reality, we probably should recognize several more types of flavor, basic things that we're sensitive to, but this has not been worked out in great detail. So these components combine with things such as the smell, even though it's in your mouth, chemicals are getting up to your nose. Texture, how it feels in your mouth, whether it's warm or cold. And so all of these come together to affect how things taste. A standard experiment you can do to see the importance of smell and taste is if you have a small piece of raw apple and a small piece of raw potato, and you try tasting both of them while holding your nose so that you can't smell them, you get pretty similar taste because you can't smell the apple versus the potato smell. Various factors affect taste. This includes genetic. Some people are much more sensitive to taste than others, especially bitter ones. Some are less than usual. Other things can affect this as well. For example, smoking tends to make you not very good at tasting things. One of the things that can make you not able to taste or smell very well is if you get the coronavirus. That tends, although it's not in all cases, a number of people who otherwise seem to have been doing okay were, I can't really smell or taste things very well. What's going on? And it turned out that they had a case of the virus. So there are various things that can affect the taste as well.